What is going on, guys? EASYHEIMER here, and I'm with the Jansno X50. This is their fat tire bike. This is the 750 watt, 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery. Comes in this really nice, like shiny blue gray configuration with like a tan brown seat. I really like the normal e-bikes. They usually come with like a normal bar setup. This one has like a very different, intricate kind of way that they kind of put all the metal together, and I think it's really sleek, especially with the rear suspension. I think it goes and ties together really nicely. This bike weighs in around 88 pounds. It has a load capacity of up to 330 pounds. This bike is rear controller driven, so the motor is in the rear. It is right there. It has these black wheels. It has 20-inch by 4-inch tires, which are pretty beefy, and they are puncture resistant, so it'll be very hard for you to pop these things. Comes with a nice little chain guard, nice pedals. So in order to turn this bike on, all you have to do is hit this switch right here. It's in the off position. Now it is on, and then this is off, on position, and then the bike is ready to be turned on. Pretty simple LCD screen here. Right here is your miles per hour, your level of assistance, your battery percentage, and how many miles you have tracked on. Buttons are pretty simple. Plus is to go all the way up. It has 5 levels of assistance. If you press the power button, you can change the odometer to the amount of distance you're riding in a single ride, to the amount of voltage, and then back to your odometer. It does have headlights. Switch for the headlight is right here. Press that, the headlights turn on. You do have turn signals. So this is the infamous hill climb that I like to do with all the bikes, to kind of get a nice little average, to kind of see how they all do uphill and then downhill, as long as the brake test. So this is the Jansno X50, and we are fully charged, and we are going to go uphill with just throttle, and then we're going to go, if I need to, use the pedals and see what we get for a top speed uphill and top speed downhill. Ready? We're at level 5 assistance, throttle only. So we made it about halfway up the hill. We're dropping in speed. We're going around 11 miles an hour. And now I'm gonna pedal with the bike, with the assistance, to kind of see. So throttle only, we're at about 11 miles an hour, and then uphill, we're at about 15 miles an hour, which is pretty average. The battery is smaller than all the other bikes that I've kind of reviewed on this hill, so it kind of makes sense that a smaller battery. The 750 watts with 48 volts, 14 amp hours is going to be a little bit slower than all the other bikes, but see what we can get for a downhill top speed test. So we got to about 34.5 miles an hour, but that's pretty fast. Top speed on this bike is rated for around 30 miles an hour, so it can go a little bit faster than what they claim to be downhill. It's pretty good. This bike pretty much does everything you want it to do. Comes in at a decent price, around $800. Right now it's on sale for, they're selling it for $400 less to what they were selling it before. So now you can pick this now you can pick up this bike for like $850 after taxes and shipping, which is a really good deal for what it is. So compared to the other bikes that I've been reviewing before, the battery is a little bit smaller, but you still get a decent amount of power from it. On flat ground, you can hit around 30 miles an hour. Estimated charging for this bike is around 6 hours for a full charge. If you're on level 5 assistance, you can get around 30 to 35 miles, and if you're pedaling with a full charge, you can get around 80, which is pretty good for the smaller battery that it has. I really do like the suspension setup. It is very sturdy to like what it is. The tires definitely do help because they're more of a road tire, so you wouldn't really take this bike off-roading. Everything works really well right out of the box. Like the gears change fine, the key turns fine, all the electronics work very well. The headlight on this thing is very bright, so if you are commuting like kind of late night, it is a very bright battery. The brake, when you turn on the headlights, there's a brake light, so that illuminates, and then when you're on the brakes, it also does illuminate a little bit more too. It does have a little horn. It just sounds like a police siren. It is very annoying, so if you need people to get out of your way, then they definitely will. All the lights are very bright on this thing, and they come factory with it, which is really cool. So like I said, if you're doing more of a commuter ride, you can definitely be seen and use your charge signal so people can see you. The only thing that I have noticed with this bike is if you're using the throttle compared to the pedals, I noticed this, there is a little bit of a delay. It's like a 1 second delay. It's not a huge issue, but when you are riding, as you can see, like I'm not on the pedals right now, and I'm not using the throttle, but when you twist it, there's a little bit of a delay when it comes to how the power comes on, which, like I said, it isn't a bad thing. I just noticed that it does take a little bit, and you notice it a little bit more when you go from pedaling. It takes a little bit for it to kick in, which, like I said, it's not the end of the world. It's just something that I've noticed with this bike. If you're switching from the throttle assistance and the pedal assistance, like you can tell with like the pedals, it hasn't kicked in yet, now it kicks in. So I did notice that when you're going from like the throttle control with this, it's a little bit more reactive, but when you're just doing the pedals, it takes a little bit for it to kind of kick in and give you the power that you want. And I'm on level 5 assistance, so like right, you see, now it kicks in. I probably did like 5 revolutions of the pedals in order for the power to kick in. And it is a torque sensor, so like the more you pedal, the more the power comes on, and then you get more speed. So another thing I have kind of noticed with this bike is I do really like the intricate designs of the metalwork, but I don't know if it's that or the suspension setup, but it's kind of, I don't know if you can hear it, but it kind of has like this like weird crunchy noise, and I'm not sure if that is the suspension, if something isn't like actually if something isn't like greased up properly or anything like that, but it does kind of make like these like weird like crunchy noises. I'm not really sure what that's about. It could be probably, what I'm thinking is all these welds, they're very like, how this bike is set up with like the frame, it is very intricately like set up, and there's a lot of welds, and if all the welds aren't kind of like similar, see, you can kind of hear it when you go over bumps, it kind of like creaks a little bit. I'm thinking that since everything kind of is welded up in a certain way, that it kind of makes those noises because of that. Well, that's like a little thing. I mean, every bike's gonna kind of squeak and kind of make those noises. But other than those kind of 2 little things with the throttle response and the pedal response, I think this is still a very well quality built bike. I really do like the design. I think it's one of the nicer bikes that I've been reviewing when it comes to design, colors, and that kind of thing. And for the price, you can't really go wrong with the bike that you're getting. I mean, you're getting puncture resistant tires, you're getting a bike that can do 30 miles an hour, you're getting a bike that can, if with pedal assistance, go up to 80 miles for around $850. It's a pretty competitive price point for a lot of the bikes out there. Like, there's not really much. It's stable. I mean, brakes work good. Headlights and lights are actually very bright. That's something I noticed. I did go for a night ride with this thing, and the headlights work very well. Big thing that I like about this bike too is when the headlights are on, they actually turn with the handlebars instead of being at a fixed point. So anywhere you're kind of turning and looking, the bike is shining light on where you're looking. And I feel like a lot of companies kind of overthink that and don't really put that into play, but that should be something that they all do, because if I'm looking straight, or if I'm taking a left turn, why is my headlight still pointing in front of me? It should be pointing where I'm turning to, you know? I think the point of this bike is for kind of like urban commuting, traveling to work, like whether it's like however far the distance is, because you can pretty much go up to like the average, if you do pedal assistance and throttle, or pedal assistance and just the throttle, you can go about like 50 miles. So anywhere you're going in this thing, you can pretty much get to and charge it while you're at wherever you're going to. Overall, I thought the Jansno X50 was a very capable bike. There are a little bit of issues here and there, but for the price point, I think this is a really good beginner commuter bike. Pretty good power and reliable light system to get you through wherever you're going to. I think this is a really good bike for somebody who is just getting into the e-bike scene, where it doesn't have too much power, but it has enough to get you to point A to point B. And right now that it's a discounted price at $850, I think this is a very competitive price point. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. EASYHEIMER out.